everybody, welcome to the Connect blockchain ecosystem overview. I want to share a little bit of information about our ecosystem, some of the projects that live within this ecosystem, and how you might be able to benefit financially by helping us grow the Connect community. I actually was introduced to these gentlemen that really created these projects, and they're all fully decentralized back in late 17, early 2018. And my buddy was telling me about these online gaming decentralized projects called Gala Games. And if you look it up, it's still one of probably the top 80 cryptocurrencies on the planet. And he was wanting people to buy these nodes, like software nodes to run their network. And I just remember, I was like, what's a node? And he said, it's like if you had an Airbnb and I rented your house, I'd be paying you to borrow your home. And with a node, it's like you have this computer software. You can put it on your laptop, or you can pay someone to host it in the cloud. And this network will pay you to use your computer. And I go, okay, I guess I can understand that. I said, what do they pay you? How much do you get paid? And he goes, well, they pay you in these Gala tokens. And I remember asking him, I said, what's a Gala token worth? And he goes, nothing right now. And I just was like, that sounds amazing. I can let you borrow my computer and you'll pay me in magic internet money that doesn't have any value. I was like, that's a good deal. And he goes, yeah, but if people start playing these games, the tokens will be worth a lot. I was like, okay. And I ended up, he wanted basically me to get $10,000 worth of these tokens, and I didn't do it. I don't play games online or anything like that. But he was like, man, it's one of the first times in the cryptocurrency space where you'll have real world utility. People will be able to buy, cows from one game and sell it, and then they can use the tokens to buy a dragon for another game. I was like, oh yeah, that's real cool. So I just kind of was busy doing other stuff, and I didn't call him back. I didn't end up purchasing those nodes. And you fast forward a couple years, and my buddy made a few $100 million from that project. And I was like, oh man. And I went through with him, and I was like, so the nodes I would have bought, I started learning about it after I missed the boat. And I was like, they would have just printed these tokens, just running the network. They would have got rewards in these tokens, and the tokens ended up being worth a lot. And I go, what would 10 grand worth of nodes generated in rewards? Like, how much in rewards over 3, 4, 5 years? And we kind of did all the math, looked at the numbers, and I guess depending on when I would have sold the rewards, somewhere between $5 and $10 million. And the nodes are still printing the rewards now. Like, he still makes a bunch of tokens every single week. And I know a couple days ago, I looked, they traded like $400 and some billion that day in transactions. And so I kind of missed the boat there. And I've done other businesses with my buddy and been pretty successful in traditional business. And we had just started an accounting firm in 2021 that did over 10 billion in tax credits for clients and over 2 billion in profits in our first 24 months. And so I was pretty busy with that. But he calls me in October of last year, and he says, hey, those guys that created Gala, they've got like 12 new projects they're working on, and you need to take a look at it. And it was one of those things where I'd missed the boat so bad in 2018. I was like, well, what are they doing? And they shared with me the same information I'm going to share with you. And they had the individuals who are running these projects come over, and they actually met me in Vegas. And some of them I knew who they were. I have a credit card processing company that we own that's pretty large. And one of the ladies was one of the founders of Discover Card. And she was the president and COO of Discover Bank for several years. And I knew the name. I'd never met her, but I knew who she was. And I was just thinking, man, if she's involved in these projects, I've got to take a really hard look. And so I want to share that information with you. If you're new to the blockchain, I'll keep it, pretty short and sweet. You can certainly do your own due diligence, but every project in our ecosystem, it's designed to reward people for proof of action, taking action and doing things, and rewarding them for actions that generate real world revenue for each project. Nothing like this has really been done in the blockchain space. If you're new to blockchain, the easiest way I explain it If you look at the internet as the way to transfer information freely without the need of a third party, I remember needing to wait for the news to tell me what the weather was going to be like during the weekend. Now, we can all pick up our phones and you can tell me if it's going to be raining in Puerto Rico this weekend. That's where I'm at. I can tell you if it's raining right now in Tokyo, if that's where you're at, So at the end of the day, that free flow of information is what was important and what allows us to do a lot of things through the internet. The blockchain allows the free flow of value. Instead of getting bank account information and sending a wire that maybe takes 1, 2, 3 days to get to somebody, you could send somebody Bitcoin within 5 minutes and the transaction's done. And it's more secure than a centralized bank transaction would be. But it's not just money that people find that has value. Maybe it's your health records. Maybe it's your tax returns. Utilizing blockchain is a way to transfer value between individuals and companies that's way more secure than doing it through a centralized single point of contact. Blockchain has been adopted faster than any technology in history. And as Elon Musk says, it's a far better way to transfer value than a piece of paper. Our ecosystem allows people to participate really 3 different ways. One is just to utilize the products and services, and I'll share a few of the services from our ecosystem so you can use them. You can also become a node owner, which is what my buddy wanted me to do with the Gala project, and I didn't end up doing it. And you're basically allowing the project to use your computer power. Or you can introduce others to our ecosystem, and if they become node owners, you get rewarded for that as well. One of the best analogies I used and heard to explain how a node works was a cell phone tower example. If you think of a farmer, Verizon, AT&T, they didn't come in and buy that whole farmland to build a cell phone tower. They would lease a little parcel of their land and then every month pay them basically as a thank you for letting us host our network on your land. That's what these projects do with the node network. So if you purchase the software for a particular project, that project is using your computer power to host their network and paying you in tokens. Now, I tell people these tokens are, magic internet money, right? They're not worth anything, especially in the projects where there's not many users or no users because they're brand new projects. But as the user base grows, as the community grows, it's potentially very valuable, those tokens. Now, this is high risk, high reward. If you're buying software that's printing magic internet money and we never get a big community and never get a bunch of users, your magic internet money is never going to be worth anything. And so I always tell people, if you're saying, hey, I want to buy some node software, just use common sense. Don't buy more than you could handle losing. And that's kind of where I was at with these projects. As I looked at them and I had certain investments that I was like, man, if I was going to put in oil well exploration or real estate speculation, I might as well move it in to this space. That was my philosophy. The legal team, Blockade, is second to none. They're a decentralized law firm. Daniel Payne's the president. I've worked with Kat Bonner quite a bit. Chief Compliance Officer John Madsen. Ken Cuccinelli is the head advisor. Ken was the former Attorney General for the state of Virginia. He was also the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security for the United States of America for several years. And so they're there basically to make sure we're crossing the T's, dotting the I's, doing things by the book. The projects, I'm going to highlight a few of them. Galvin is the Health and Wellness Project. Dr. Adam Sharp was an emergency room physician. Then he ended up moving into the corporate side. Kind of the admin was high up at Kaiser Permanente. And he left the health and wellness field from the corporate standpoint and moved into the blockchain standpoint because he realized it could solve a lot of problems that live in the health space currently. One, he wanted to have us control our own health. There's an app with Galvin that utilizes Amazon Alexa AI that will basically assess over 2,500 inflections in the human voice. It can tell you every day, like whether you're higher energy or lower energy, whether you're higher stressed or lower stressed. And then it'll give you things to do to alleviate stress. It'll give you things to do to increase energy. And it will reward you in tokens for doing those things. The longer goal of the Galvin network is really to allow us to control our health records, our DNA records, store them on a blockchain. And if we choose to, we can share them anonymously with the community, get paid in tokens to do it, but then let AI aggregate all the health data. And if we had a big enough community, we could eliminate something like a rare disease from the entire planet. There would be no such thing as a rare disease if you had enough users. If you thought, hey, my neighbor's daughter has a rare disease and you knew about this project, you would go over there, have the neighbor's daughter download this app, load their health records, load her DNA, then share it anonymously. The AI within a nanosecond would probably go, no, this is not a rare disease. Our database has 3,712 users with the exact same symptoms, the exact same diagnosis. 712 users throughout these 3 continents utilized this treatment program and had amazing results and amazing success. AI's recommendation is you connect with the physician that's working on this patient and let them know this data and see if they're willing to start this treatment procedure. So that's the end goal, is allowing us to really control our health. Grow United Grow is one of my favorite projects because it allows us as consumers to know what we're putting in our body, what we're eating. Right now, people probably don't think about it much, but there's about 10 companies that control everything we eat, from Mondelez, which is Kraft, Unilever, Kellogg's, General Mills. And there's a few conglomerates that lay above some of these companies like Cargill and Monsanto. But I would argue a lot of times they're putting probably more chemicals in our body than they are actual nutritional foods. And we want to change that. We want to let people know what they're eating, what they're putting in their bodies, and that's what Grow does. Imagine ordering a steak from a restaurant, using your app, taking a picture of a QR code that comes out with the steak, and it would say, hey, Mary, this is cattle number 1176459 from Royal Ranch Farms in Washington State. This is a certified organic free-range Angus cow. It grazed on 1,167.5 pounds of grass during its grazing lifetime. It was processed right here at Royal Ranch Farms, never injected with hormones, never injected with steroids. We processed it 46 hours ago, shipped it refrigerated. It's never been frozen. Now it's on the plate for you to enjoy. If you like the steak, you could order directly from the farm, have it drop shipped to you. It would be cheaper than getting that steak from the grocery store. And the farmer, by cutting out all those middlemen and the big conglomerates and the commodities markets, the farmer would make a bigger profit off of that sale as well. And so we have that ability to use real world utility and tie it into the blockchain. I actually have nodes for the Grow project, which generate these Grow tokens, which people go, oh, there's not a lot of value there. There's a Grow farm 7 minutes away from where I live in Puerto Rico. I can use my tokens to buy meat, fruits, vegetables, milk, eggs, honey, bacon, whatever I want. I don't have to use a credit card. I don't have to use cash. I can just use my tokens. That's allowing real world utility to combine with the blockchain, which is going to shake up the way a lot of companies do business over the next several years. Element is our mining blockchain. We utilize a certificate that's blockchain certified to make sure that if you buy gold or lithium, something that's going in your smartphone's battery, diamonds, that it was mined ethically. There was no 11-year-old at gunpoint digging up the precious metals. That also, after the mines depleted, they didn't just leave holes in the ground. They came through behind with mangrove trees or backfilled with farmable soil. And we can help people ensure that any precious metals were mined ethically. Tiffany's has a partnership with us, actually the 7th most expensive diamond in Tiffany's history. It's actually about a mile away from me right now. They have one of our partners that's putting it onto the blockchain. That way people will know when they purchase that kind of diamond that it was mined ethically, and that after the mine was depleted, they were coming back and reclaiming the land for the environment. Switch, that's our banking blockchain. This is one of the reasons I was here, and I got really involved. I knew who Kathy Roberts was. She was one of the founders of Discover Card, COO and president of Discover Bank for several years. And she realized that if we can pull this off, this would allow everybody on the planet to become bankable. It's the best crypto wallet I've ever seen in my life, and it's not even close. I started in the beta on it. That's probably one of the best things I did. They let me in on the beta, and I was able to purchase cryptocurrency with a credit card. You could do up to 10 grand with no KYC, up to 75 grand with KYC. And you bought Bitcoin, like $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. It was available immediately. Like within 5 minutes, you could move it. I was moving it to my cold wallet. I could move it anywhere I wanted to. If you try that with Coinbase, it'll probably be 3 weeks before you could actually move your Bitcoin if you buy it. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but these guys just figured out a better way to do it. And what's amazing is when you put it in to the wallet, it's what's called a non-custodial wallet, meaning it's your crypto. So if they went out of business tomorrow, all my crypto that's in my non-custodial wallet, I can grab a cold wallet and recover it. It's mine. It's not like I sent it to some idiot like Sam Bankman-Fried who could go lose it and steal it from me. Here, if these guys go out of business, I've got all my crypto. Now, they do have a custodial wallet, but I only put in there what I want to use. And the cool thing about the custodial wallet, if you move, let's say, $1,000 worth of Bitcoin into that wallet, that's also immediately available on the Switch Visa card. So you could use that Visa for dinner, buy a $50 meal, swipe it, it would sell $50 worth of your Bitcoin, pay off the debit card right then and there. It allows everyday people to be able to utilize blockchain and cryptocurrency without having to understand how blockchain and cryptocurrency work. That's one of the beauties about Switch. Rev is our rideshare blockchain. Imagine being able to take an Uber and get paid to do it. That's what Rev allows you to do. And it's a game changer. And it's actually already operating right now. The blockchain is still being developed, but the rideshare is open and running. If you're in Miami, Palm Beach, in Florida, if you're in New Orleans, that's getting ready to open this coming week. So you could actually take a ride. Imagine a $50 ride. And it says, hey, if you pay with the token, the Rev token, it's only $45. And you can click and use your credit card to buy the token right there. So it's one click, purchase the token. You just save some money to take the ride. Let's say I'm your driver. I come to pick you up. I'm getting US dollars. Like I definitely, maybe I'm trying to pay for food, pay for gas to put in my car. I want to get real money, not magic internet money. So I'm getting real money, but I'm also getting tokens when I pick you up. That's a revenue generating activity. When you get in the car, you get tokens. When I drop you off, if you give me a tip, you get tokens. I get tokens. I must have done a good job, and we want to incentivize you to tip drivers and do a good job. So we give you token rewards for doing that. You give me a rating, you get tokens. You give me a high rating, 5 stars, I get more tokens, and vice versa. Now, let's say you see you've got all these tokens just for doing the rides. Maybe you shared it with a friend. You said, hey, this is cool, try it out. You get more tokens for that. You're eating your dinner and you go, I need a ride home. And you just want to use your tokens to take the ride home. You could do that. As a driver, maybe I don't want this magic internet money. I want to buy groceries. I can sell my tokens in the marketplace. Switch will help me convert it into US dollars. It would help me convert it into my Visa card. I can go check out right at the grocery store, use my tokens as real money with my Visa card, exit out, move on, and not have any idea how the blockchain works, but I'm utilizing it to make my life better and make my life easier. We also have Rally, which is our video conferencing service. That's getting ready to launch as well. Imagine doing a meeting like this and getting paid to do it. That's really what we're going to start doing in a couple weeks. And no one is really loyal to any of the video conferencing services. I'm using Zoom right now. If it was Google Meet, I'd be using Google Meet. Some people, a buddy sent me a link for Microsoft Teams. My accounting firm is getting ready to move to Microsoft. They'll be using Teams for their meetings. Soon, once we launch this Rally software, I'll have my accounting firm using Rally because I'll get paid when they do their meetings. So it's just an easy industry to disrupt because no one's really that loyal. It's almost like the airline industry was. I remember when I lived in Dallas, I used to fly American Airlines because they gave me a bunch of miles. And even if a flight was a little cheaper on Delta, I always chose American because it was cheaper. It was giving me miles, giving me, free upgrades, but I could just use my miles and pay nothing, no money. That's cheaper than paying anything for a flight. We're going to do the same thing in all these different industries and reward people for taking proof of action that generates real world utility and real world revenue. If you're interested in our ecosystem, you can get started for free. Whoever invited you on to watch this webinar, you can actually click a link that they send you, download a free smart wallet, and you're in the ecosystem. You can start going through some of our training. We have compliance training. You can go through the education, learn more about blockchain. You can do all those things at no cost. If you do want to get more involved, you can grab a node. The Win node, it's our sales and marketing and AI blockchain. They actually are $2,000 annually, but the rewards you get from the node, pretty much ever since the project started, it pays the annual renewal. So you don't have to pay with real money afterwards. You use the magic internet money. All the other nodes are lifetime purchase. You get them once, you've got them forever. And I tell people, figure out what projects you're most interested in, and those are the projects that you might want to purchase nodes in. You never have to. If you sell 5 nodes, 5 Win nodes, they give you a free one. The algorithm just automatically rewards you with a free node. There's no owners of these blockchain ecosystems. It's fully decentralized, kind of like Bitcoin or Ethereum, if you think of those and you're kind of in that loop and understand those projects. There are no owners. One node equals one vote. The community steers the ship as where each of these projects end up going. As you purchase nodes and transactions start happening, you bring in other people that maybe start utilizing the services, maybe purchasing nodes. 70% of all the revenues that come in is paid out to the node network and to the users as a proof of reward recipients. 30% goes to decentralized operations, but honestly, the voters could change that. If you saw that the meeting software wasn't using that much to operate, you guys could call a vote and lower it down, and all of a sudden the payout goes to 80% and decentralized operations only gets 20%. The community controls where the projects move. Timing and positioning is perfect in what we're doing right now to disrupt many, many industries, pretty much every industry on the planet. Blockchain technology, according to the World Economic Forum, this was back in 2021, they basically stated that the blockchain is set to disrupt $867 trillion in traditional markets. And we can be the tip of the spear on that disruption. What I would tell you to do, whoever invited you onto this webinar, click the link they send you, create your free account, go through the compliance training, explore some of your favorite projects. If you want to purchase a Win node, that kind of brings you into the ecosystem right now. I don't know how long this video will be good for, but there's a coupon. You can get a Win node for $500. They're $2,000 normally, but they're giving that $1,500 off. And if you're not in a position where you can purchase nodes or just don't want to, if you sell 5 Win nodes, the algorithm will just issue you a free Win node. Once you do those things, you're learning about the projects you're interested in, start sharing those projects with the community, and you can end up building a massive, massive community in the blockchain space. We're at the perfect time, perfect position. The Bitcoin halving is coming. You can research that. The Bitcoin ETFs are the fastest growing ETFs in history. Coming up pretty soon, there'll be more people because of the ETFs trying to buy Bitcoin than is actually being created on a daily basis, which you never know what's going to happen. No one has a crystal ball, but everything seems to be lining up for a lot of success. Now, this is certainly high risk, high reward. There's no guarantees. You could certainly buy nodes and the tokens they generate will be worth nothing, and that could happen. I hope what happens is they turn into like the Gala tokens, only I didn't buy those nodes, I should have, but I hope they create that real world value and that real world opportunity that's available to each and every one of us. I appreciate you guys sharing some of your time with us to learn a little bit more about our projects, connect with whoever got you involved in this webinar, and let them know you'd like to learn more, or let them know you'd like to get started for free by setting up your smart wallet.